Aw, he's licking her. Good grooming. He's such a loving boy. Hey everybody, welcome to the Happy Harvest Homestead. As you know, we have still yet to have any of our does give birth, even though it's now January, and they had months and months of this entire fall and winter to get pregnant. And for a while, they did look fat and pregnant, and they were like resting in weird positions like they were pregnant, and they were acting pregnant to me, and I was making all these videos about pregnant rabbits. But she definitely is looking pregnant to me, even like this side of her is kind of bulging. I was also noticing earlier this afternoon that Izzy is looking big, especially when she was laying down. I could see this big belly on her. And I was waiting for babies to be born, and then I was waiting, and waiting, and waiting, and I'm still waiting. I believe it's been like over 2 months since I made the pregnancy videos, so it turns out that actually all the does weren't pregnant, so that like really stinks. So we had 6 does and a buck in our colony for many months. So if all the does weren't getting pregnant, and with that wide a variety of genetics, the problem might actually be the buck and not the does. But a while ago I checked our buck and everything looked normal. He had both his testicles and everything looked fine. But more recently I checked again, and I couldn't find any testicles. Now it is winter time, and I've found they tend to shrink in size when it's cold outside, so that has been throwing me off. But I checked again, and for sure he's missing one. I saw one testicle, but he's completely bare on his other side. I do know that it's possible for bucks to breed with only one testicle, but maybe it's not possible for our buck. Or maybe it's not even our buck's problem, and the mystery illness we had, was that like a year ago? It started a year ago, but it went for like 6 months or so. So I don't know if the does are still recovering from that, like internally, and so their bodies just aren't ready yet because they're still recovering. Or heaven forbid, the sickness like permanently damaged them, because it's weird that we have all these does who are not getting pregnant. And it's not only the meat rabbits who are having this problem. Our Angora rabbit breeding pair also has had no babies, even though they've been together for just as long as the meat rabbits have. If the Angoras were fine, but the meat rabbits weren't, I would think that Onyx was for sure the problem. But Sylvan, our Angora buck, who has both his testicles and is a proven buck just like Onyx, are still having problems. So we have proven bucks with proven does, and they're not breeding. The weather's been right. I've been feeding them alfalfa hay, which is really high in nutrients, and I've been giving them food scraps. I don't know what's going on. Currently, all of our meat rabbits are either in tractors that are raised off the ground or in cages. They are each divided into groups of 2. Some groups of 2 consist of 2 does, but 2 of those groups consist of a doe and a buck. Onyx is paired with Constance, and Sterling is paired with Cattail. So in addition to the months and months we had all 6 of our meat rabbit does in with bucks, we now have 2 meat rabbit does still in with bucks, plus our Angora rabbits who have been together, and we're still not having any babies, and I am at a complete loss. So in an effort to try to figure out what's going on, I drew on my knowledge of traditional rabbit raising and checked all of the does' vents to see what color they were. Over my years of rabbit raising, I have gathered a vast array of knowledge of raising rabbits in all sorts of ways, from in colonies to cages to even like pet house rabbits. So while I don't utilize all the knowledge I have all the time, because I pick and choose what things I like the best and apply them to my rabbitry, I still have knowledge of things that I don't usually implement. And because for a long while the breeding just took care of itself, I didn't have to do this, but now I'm finding myself having to switch to the super stressful, hands-on, very labor-intensive process of breeding rabbits by hand and not just letting them do it naturally. So I checked all the does' vents, and all of the does except for one were a light pink and white color, and they were all small and kind of shrivelly, which means that they're probably not ready to be bred that day. The one doe who did look ready to be bred was Acrobat. Her vent was nice and moist and swollen and red, and her roommate is Zuzu, who's another doe, so she's not with the buck right now. So I got out the foldable dog kennel and stuck Sterling and her together so that he could breed her. Now because she's Acrobat, we're gonna have to be careful that she doesn't jump out. We have something covering part of the cage roof, but here we go. Woo! We gotta fall off! She was laying down for him. Literally, her legs weren't in the right position, but it's so slippery that she tries. So we got one fall off. So she's letting him breed her when she's ready to breed. So that's good. Woo!
He was like, ah!
Nope, wrong way. That's not how it goes.
Wrong person.
It all makes it so much funnier when they're all slipping around.
Acrobat, you're doing the wrong thing.
Get in the right position, girl. You're in the wrong position. Woo! That's number 3. So technically now we can say we're done, but I'm just gonna let them keep going until they're done. She's not in the right position, so he can't get where he's supposed to go. Her ears are up and her neck is up. She should be pressing herself to the floor. Don't jump, Acrobat. No, no.
Acrobat.
We're watching you. Woo! Was that 4 or 5? So you think that's number 5. Should we call it a day? Alright, you guys ready to go back to your cages? Here you go. Back with your other girlfriend. Okay, I haven't done this in so long, but we get to write down a breeding. All of Acrobat's breeding dates are all question marks because we never knew because she was just with a buck in a colony all the time. But now we get to write down the buck, Sterling, the breed date, 12/30/22. Then we will fill in how many babies she has and all that other stuff later. Oh, this was her 4th litter, and this breeding will be her 5th litter if she gets pregnant, which she probably will. And now all we have to do is wait. So now we have at least one doe successfully bred and probably pregnant. My plan is to check on the other does and keep checking their vents every few days until they're ready to breed, and then breeding them and hopefully getting all 7 of our does, all the 6 meat rabbit does, and Jolty the Angora doe having babies on a regular schedule like they used to. Thanks for watching!